And you can even ask yourself, this is my favorite. You're looking at the hematite and you ask yourself, why am I feeling unsafe? Why do I feel unsafe? Let that thought come. And then you can just walk away, write it down. You figured out step one. Then you can move over to your mukite or your next stone. And you can be like, okay, mukite is all about self-nurture. Where do I need self-nurture? How am I not nurturing myself? Just simple question, write it down. Now you do that with all the ones you have in front of you. And I call this a mark, map, and move, because you don't want to flood yourself all the time. We still have things that we need to do, like, go to work or whatever. So just ask yourself one at a time, mark it down, map this out, because the next day you're going to further it. You're going to go, okay, so why don't I self-nurture? I figured out how I don't self-nurture. I figured out where I need more self-nurturing. But now I'm going to ask myself, day two, when did this start? When did this programming begin? When did I start ever feeling like skipping self-care or that rest meant that I was invaluable? Where did those thoughts start? Where did they be, like their root? Because you're working with your root chakra. So the point is to get to your roots. So you start with the surface question of the present. How am I not doing this? Where am I not nurturing? Why am I not feeling safe in my present? Write it down. The next day you do another mindful meditation routine, and then you ask, where did that begin? Where did that first happen? Where was that first memory of where I couldn't do a certain thing or feel when I was programmed to feel a certain way about myself? And then that's where you're going to have to allow the memory to come in, validate the emotions. You have all your grounding friends in front of you still, so you're safe, you're connected to earth, you are in a good place, you're on the ground, so you're safe to allow this memory to come. And you let it. You cry it out, you feel it just how you should have felt it then, but you probably suppressed it because you had to. So feel it like you should have. Then you're going to look back at it, all your little friends, and you're going to go back to hematite and say, all right, now what are we going to do moving forward that's always going to keep us safe? What are we going to now implement all the time to not allow that to happen again? So there's three little moves. You got your first day of it. You can sit with it and ask those first layer of questions. Now that could be painful, so wait a couple days, but still sit in the mornings and have that moment with yourself on the ground. You might not need to ask questions that day. You might need a little break. So go ahead and do that. But then when you're feeling safe again, when you're feeling ready, ask that second layer of questions and do that same process. And you're going to start making this little map that's going to start connecting all of your things, like all of your traumas, all of the things that even happened in your adulthood that didn't make sense are going to all start making sense because they're connecting in this web, because you're figuring it out. You're slowly getting through, and that's going to really anchor your root chakra.